Hey, Room 17 parents, this is Mr. Prowl, just sending a little video link about what's coming home tonight and what you can do to understand what's coming home and also to help out your child. When it comes to the assessment packet that was sent home, you'll see that it was chapters 2, 3, and 4 that were sent home. And so the reason why it was 2, 3, and 4 was because in chapter 2, there was some challenges when it came to the assessment. And here, for example, in test 2 that we had, students needed to be able to think of numbers in an easy way in their head, but what became challenging was how we were looking at how you show that mental process in their head. And so just seeing this type of problem here where they're looking at this part, but then understand why am I minusing 4? Well, it wasn't as clear as what we talked in class about. First, you find that nice friendly number that you've changed that 96 from to get this, and then you would subtract 4. And so that they understood this process, but sometimes it was challenging being able to show it and fully understand, like, why are they seeing the certain numbers that they're seeing. Also in chapter 2, there were problems like this that were finding those friendly numbers in the middle and like changing 46 to a friendly number of 50. They had more practice in understanding when that number was closer to 100 than to 50, so there were some challenges with that. And then lastly, there seemed to be more of an aha when we talked to students about how you can show your mental math, thinking of numbers such as this, 3,500, and changing it, in steps like this. Because when you're looking at a number like this, 3,500, and you're taking away 840, well, you're going to have to do some carrying here that is a little more challenging what they're ready for. So that's why you do these easy numbers. But this led to some confusion and for what we had talked about in these steps here versus now thinking of it in steps where you can jump multiple times to break that apart into easier parts, or to jump forward in a nice easy number, but then jumping back if you over jumped. And so it was just these steps that were multiple steps that led to some confusion. And because the Minnesota standards in this were tied to addition and subtraction, I didn't want this test to come home and then there'd be worries, are they not meeting standards with addition and subtraction? And so that's why I waited until the chapters on addition and subtraction were done so that you could see both of those tests with chapter 2. The other thing that is coming home tonight is the journal pages. And there's one journal page that I asked students to take home and work with parents or guardians tonight, and that is page 80 in their math journal. And what's interesting about this approach is that it's bar modeling. And so I told students I would send home an email so that you could see what it is and the steps that they would be doing. So you set up the problems that you see here, and this particular problem you're comparing. You're looking at a school clerk and the newsletters that they send out, but then the newsletter sent out on Monday compared to Wednesday. So how do you set that up when you're comparing it? Well, let's look down here at the problem already completed so you know what you're looking for with your child. You're comparing Monday's bar, which is 635 newsletters, and you're comparing that to Wednesday's. And setting up here in this bar model can help you see how you're breaking the problem down, because we don't know what Wednesday's is, but we do know that there's 96 fewer. So we show that by comparing the bars for Monday and Wednesday and looking at this part here that we know Wednesday has 96 fewer. So since we know it's 96 fewer, we would set up the problem here to subtract, and that helps us understand the first step. But then the second question is, how many newsletters do they print in all? And so that's why we show with that bar modeling that bracket on the side that says, okay, how much is it going to be together? And that sets up this problem. So really what we're trying to do is just set up the problem by looking at one bar compared to another bar to better help us know how to set up the problems that we're exploring. So check your child's work tonight, see if they've shown the bar modeling. Many want to just complete the math steps that you see here, but the biggest part is being able to show, can you do the bar